You're doing an amazing project for Langata people. I see so many launches, so many projects going on.
Yes, yes.
So many. Now, just to understand this, people are fighting you. You've seen proposed names working with prominent leaders, donating cash, doing charity events. I don't know if that's affecting.
Those cannot affect me. That cannot affect me. You've seen when Mama Ida Odinga greeted me, she said, "This is my brother." Because we come from the same village, the same place, everything. And I know there's a lot of politics going on. Eric has a chance to come and be the MP of Langata. This is a political post. If he wants to come, I don't know if he's ever announced. The field is open. Tutakutana tu hapa tu kwa ground tu. Yeah, there's nothing much. Mumenishtua sana. Eve has just told me that and I was so surprised. I'm so sorry about it. Maybe we can look for it. We can now start seeing what the case is talking about, because it's very sad. Because rape is not a small offense to be accused of. I don't know who. I don't know. I don't understand the case. So I also didn't know that he's been arrested, because I don't follow so much nowadays. To go ground most of the time, and so I'll just check and see what we can do about it. Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can tell us, Jalango, do you think because you are a celebrity and also an MP is the reason why most of the time tunaona una make headlines sana, watu wanakuongelelea sana, because there are other MPs as well, but hatuonangi wakiongelelewa sana.
That's why I'm called Heavy J Baba. Even before I joined politics, we were on headlines every single day. You understand? As we speak, Gen Z, if you've seen the news statistic, I'm the most followed and the most influential in the Gen Z. And Gen Z is the newest generation. So at any given time, you must inspire. You must be there to uplift. You must be there to make a difference. And that's what makes the difference here. And also the fact that I work with the president against my party was also a bigger thing, a bigger conversation. We've created news throughout, and I don't think it will stop anytime soon. Yes.
Do you feel like you're a traitor to your party?
Traitor having done what? The Constitution gives you the right to associate, the right of speech, the right to... It's in the Constitution. Who is the president of Kenya? All right. Is there a problem by meeting the president? No. How many other people in the opposition have met the president? Even Baba himself. Even Kalonzo himself. All the governors. So many MPs. But when it comes to Jalas, that's when it is a problem. So it can just tell you. Yes.
How does it make you feel when you see people saying, "Hey, Jalas alikuwa mzuri, vile ameingia politics, amebadilika, kama hizo."
One time MP.
Wewe ulikuenda kunaenda home.
Ni watu tu wa Langata watamua. Ni kama mimi ni one term ama ni two term. Mimi niko tu sawa. Hata hiyo one term ni sawa. But I don't think so. We've come from so far to just get to this far. So hiyo mambo ati one term nini naisikia naiona kila mtu Nyako akisema Nyako anaditukana hapa na pale.
Unatoka asubuhi. Early in the morning.
Imagine tuko na 4 years yawe kusema one term. I wish in the 4 years you can at least make your MPs do what they promised you during the elections. Make sure that this time you can hold your members of parliament accountable to what they had promised to do. Politics will come, and it's the people of Langata will decide. Mtu anasema one term na anapiga kura wapi? Unajua Nyako atapigi kura Kenya. And she's my friend. I don't even know why she just decided to blow up. But anytime you talk about Jalas, you just know it will make news.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who are fighting you?
There's no one fighting me.
No, it's rumored that individuals, prominent ODM leaders are fighting you.
I don't know. We meet, we talk. Those are things you see uko kwa ground. Have you seen any one of them mention me?
No.
Just one. Yeah.
Tumeona baba Raila juzi akiwa Miguna. Aliweza kutumia matamshi ya kawaida hili makahaba wa siasa. Kama
Oh, ni siasa na siasa unaweza tumia lugha yote ambayo unadhani kuwa inaweza peleka ujumbe wako. Na kama sisi ni makahaba wa kisiasa, basi kila mtu ni kahaba wa siasa basi. Kwa sababu wote wamekutana na rais, si ndio? Basi sasa kila mtu mwenye amewahi kutana na rais wakati bipartisan talks bado zinaendelea is a traitor, is a traitor. Na yeye pia kila mtu hivyo tu venye wanasema magavana wote hapo wenye wamekutana na rais, mtu yote mwenye amekutana na rais, basi kama hivyo ni hivyo ndio.
Jalango, if push comes to shove, maybe 2027 ODM waseme hakuna tiketi. UDA kuna mlango?
Mbona UDA peke yake? Kuna independent, kuna UDA, kuna upya, kuna PA, kuna mbona umeamua tu UDA kwanza?
Na chance kwa UDA.
Mimi ni mwana wa ODM, unaelewa? Na ODM ndio chama nitatumia hapa. Unless wanapanga kupoteza hii kiti. Unless wanapanga kupoteza hii kiti tu. Ndio, kwa sababu hapa Lang'ata hii mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Asanteni. Alafu tukimaliza Lang'ata tunapanda juu. Hata hiyo rais kwani mimi usema jaribu. Who knew that we could be here today? There's a teaching in Muslim, says riziki ya mwenzako hauwezi zuia. Na ni Mungu ndiye ametufikisha hapa. Unaelewa? So let it be. Let it be. The people of Lang'ata will decide. Tutawafanyia kazi vile tunawafanyia saa hizi. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Yes, now that was the Lang'ata MP Felix Odiwuor, aka Jalango, speaking. Now, of course, we've had a couple of things from his interview. Number one, he disassociated himself from the 1 billion shilling scandal that was posted earlier on in one. That was gazetted like earlier on this week. Akisema they do ama anafanya biashara zingine. Angekuwa 1 billion amekuwa involved in on a serious note, like the true way, then probably he won't have been wherever he is right now. So he also talked about a couple of things, tukiingia kwa ukahaba wa siasa as well as chama, about freedom of association. That was when he was asked about being a traitor when it comes to associating with the UDA party or associating with the president. So another thing that he's also talked about is that he is still a member of ODM and he is not leaving anytime soon because, number one, there is a case that is in court in regards to them being removed from the party or being expelled. And of course, we have seen other people, inclusive of not other people, just one person, that is Elisha Odhiambo, who is the MP of Gem, who has been the expulsion has actually been suspended by the political parties dispute tribunal, and this is after, of course, the 4 who are expelled moved to court to the tribunal in Kisumu to challenge the expulsion. Now, Emmanuel, I am going to bring you in kwa sababu pia Jalango amesema vizuri, he is not leaving ODM anytime soon. He is there to stay. Na come 2027, he's not even moving to any other party, but akuna ODM bumper to bumper all the way. What is your take on Jalango's interview?
It's good that Jalango is defending himself. He's defending himself in a point that he's still in ODM. Truth be told, he's still in ODM. But again, for him staying in ODM does not guarantee him to be the best ODM candidate if elections were to be held today. If ODM, let's say, we have a by-election, person he will first revenge at, it is Jalango, who is following William Ruto from Nyanza. So that's the big mistake that Jalango is getting himself into. A mistake for trying to shine Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, something that he's unable to at the moment. So that's the big mistake that is bringing him today. And we just saw Ida Odinga shaking hand with Jalango today.
Yes.
Ida Odinga, she's very instrumental in politics. Very, very much instrumental. But again, shaking her hand, just shaking her hand.
Formalities,
And on which context? Unajua, I was looking at Jalango, alikuwa anaenda kumsalimia na uoga fulani. So unajua, you can go and she ashames you. She's done that in the past. So Jalango was like, alikuwa anajishuku like compared other times, but she had to shake her hand. And then, but again, ODM as a team are not really willing to lose Jalango because it's very instrumental at the moment as we speak, and is a great asset to both parties. To UDA, is very instrumental, and even to ODM, he can still be very, very much instrumental. As we saw in the former elections, we saw Jalango really doing a great job in supporting ODM, even at the point of Supreme Court. And then things tried not to turn up. So number 2 mistake that Jalango is trying to do again is the mistake of taking Langata people to explanations that they don't want to understand. You see that he's trying to sue some individuals for putting him in a wrong scandal.
No, just a point of correction for that. Alisema hawasu. He's not going to court for that.
The point is, he was to sue them.
Yes,
but
he was.
After consultations, he was advised in another way. You know, it could be possible. He's very innocent.
Possibility.
There's a big possibility that is very innocent, because it is after the scandal with ODM coming up is when that scandal now comes. It will be a cooked one to from ODM. Yeah.
Okay, and we've also had, of course, the talks of late for the past couple of weeks has been them being expelled from the team. Na Jalango mwenyewe tumemsikia akisema ya kwamba a lot of people have actually met with the Kenya Kwanza team, you know, inclusive of, because of the bipartisan talks. Na akasema kama ni kukashifiwa, basi pia hao wangekuwa also crucified or sacrificed for their meetings with the Kenya Kwanza team, you know. So what's your take on that? Well, should they also be held accountable, or even the reasons as to why this particular group of people were expelled null and void? Yani just mere, we could call it like a threat into, if you associate with the other party, you know, then this is the result.
When Raila Odinga meets Mheshimiwa William Ruto, in any event, it's not a mistake. When MPs align to ODM, meet the president in different occasions, it's not a problem. But when you go to State House, there's a problem.
But Kalonzo Musyoka was in State House. Why?
You know,
it's
not in public. Kalonzo went to State House. It is actually you said that Kalonzo went to State House.
Kasi walipatana na
Nani alisema Kalonzo?
Walipatana na mkuu. Word has it. Word in the street has it that he was there.
Can you bring us that video that Actually, the description now Kalonzo went to State House. It was a late night meeting, of which it speaks much. It speaks a lot. Even Raila Odinga can be the president.
At midnight.
Even Raila Odinga can be the president anytime and have an handshake. So the point is, when other leaders meet the president at State House, it's different when you meet a president in a development project in the ground, in the field. Because development is done in the field, in parliament. You want development for people for Langata, bring the policies on parliament. Articulate their problems. Now, when you go to State House, now there are other things you're going to do there.
Secret meetings.
When you go to State House, there are different things that you're going to do there. And these are the ones that Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga wants to avoid from the Azimio members. Here you're going to be bought. Here you're going to be channeled on how to base your discussions. Here you're going to remove your attention from ODM to Kenya government. Here you're going to say that uchaguzi bisha. Let's now focus on development.
I don't know why I feel like you're talking about a specific person.
No, I'm not specific on an individual. But of course, yes, I'm in Jalan. Now again, when these things come, they come to you as an instrument. They don't come to anyone. They don't. Okay, how many people expelled from Azimio?
From Azimio, from ODM.
From all ODM.
There were 4.
And how many are we talking about now?
1 person.
Why?
Nice question.
Now this is someone who have proved to be having a good future in politics. And when you see you're being fought east, west, north, and south, there's something good in you. You know, a good plant, you know that. So what you mean from Jalango as an MP for Langata is miaka yake at the moment, and ukiangalia ulingo wa siasa from ODM. Let's talk about Edwin Sifuna, Babu Wino, Jalango. Put the likes of now compare them with the people ODM had. Very Odinga, very old. Yet we go to Anyang So what's happening now on ODM at the big picture is that it's slowly moving from a different age, ushering in a different age in the politics playground. Here, you need strong people. People who can come up and talk. So to bring Edwin Sifuna and give him Jalango to oppose each other, you would not go forward as a community. But what you need to do is to bring them together. So actually, I think that's what's challenging ODM at large and any other political party. When you have transition of leadership in a political party from one individual to another one, it will come with casualties. At the moment Raila Odinga will retire from politics, chances are for ODM to continue surviving will be minimal. Because there will be leadership problems, debates, who will take over as the kingpin for ODM. And before you get to that level, there are many who will have left ODM. Either joined your opponents or made a different political party. This brings to the point to narrow down to the ODM youths in politics. There are many. There are many who perhaps think at the exit of Mheshimiwa Baba Raila Odinga from politics, then get a chance to upscale their levels in politics and maybe continue staying in leadership positions. What coming to Jalango specifically is that he has figured out and found out that his way is not in ODM. He has seen a different route that he can take to either fasten his political growth. And what will happen, as we went to see now the videos, ODM, UDA is getting more roots in Nyanza, especially Lu Nyanza. What if Jalango and other MPs who were expelled get good mobilization from Mheshimiwa William Ruto and UDA as a team to mobilize UDA in Nyanza? And they all turn from ODM. They start saying UDA.
Lakini unajua
at the end of the day, who get that credit?
Mkuu, most definitely.
And as Mheshimiwa William Ruto is known to our loyalty, will Jalango still be begging the likes of Babu?
Lakini
it's not going to be an easy thing, of course. But again, achievement in Nyanza cannot be compared with achievements in Rift Valley. So if you deliver even 20% or maybe 30% in Nyanza for UDA, you are equivalent to 60% of Central or Rift Valley.
But okay, tumeona kuna watu ambao wamevuka to UDA, but Jalango has clearly stated his stand because he has been asked, would you join another party? Because of course there are parties that have said that they are open for them to come and do the by-elections through the parties that they are ready to like incorporate the expelled members, you see. But mtu kama Jalango amesema, come what may, kuna freedom of association, number one, of course it's in the constitution, you know. Freedom of speech, of course it's in the constitution. But then amesema yeye na ODM damu bumper to bumper all the way. So I don't feel like you know the way Mheshimiwa as you said earlier on is sort of doing the divide and rule kind of thing, anaenda akikusanya wafuasi kila mahali polepole with the regions that he's been visiting of late, which are ODM or Azimio strongholds. So Heavy J, I think he's gonna be there unless it's finally official that he's going to be removed from the party completely. Ni kama atapambana na hali, though we don't know kama 2027 he's still going to take the seat kikiumana and he shifts parties, but maybe he will akiamua kuvuka ODM UDA, anaweza chukua watu wa Lang'ata by force round 2, because at the end of the day, remember you said clearly that even in Kenya most people do vote for the party rather than the leader himself. So kama mheshimiwa atamshikilia, then probably might see him shift to UDA, because pia UDA inakuja na moto, it's going to be among, or it actually is among the biggest and strongest parties in Kenya as per now. And
you are saying that Jalango win the seats 2027?
Yes.
It's not be easy.
He might.
It's not be easy.
Why though? Why would you say that? Why is it hard?
You know, at the moment, Jalango has not even resigned so that we have a by-election.
Yes.
But how many people have shown interest in Lang'ata?
Wengi, inclusive of jokers.
Hey, who is a joker?
How does Andrew Kibe want to
no, you must withdraw that statement. You
why?
cannot call an potential aspirant to be a joker.
Okay, I withdraw my statement.
And what if jokers now vote for him?
Wow. Okay, yes. Now I get it.
What you want to say is that to you, someone can be a joker, and then jokers in that area vote a big joker. So you see the likes of Andrew Kibe show interest. They will come and then, and of course, you know, let me tell you, politics is too unpredictable.
True.
You cannot A minute in politics, everything can change. What about a minute, just 1 minute? Things will be very hard, as we've seen that Raila Odinga and William Ruto. But what if Raila Odinga stands now and says, Ruto Tosha? You change the whole picture of politics again. So, Jalango is still the MP, not resigned. But Recommend is also saying he wants
To buy, yes.
Yeah? Now, those are jokers. What about Nixon Korea? Says that now I want to come back. And remember, Jalango just won narrowly to Nixon Korea in the previous elections.
No.
So to say that he will win for 2027, it will be a difficult thing for him. It will be very, very difficult. And here, he will be forced, losing an election in Kenya, it does not mean it's your end.
Yeah, true.
In any leadership. You can lose an election, and through losing, you get the biggest opportunity that you never knew. Aisha Juma lost the seat in Kilifi. She's now the CS. Ezekiel Machogu lost in KISII County. Is the minister for education. So perhaps if he loses in 2027 and UDA maybe Ruto is the president, I'm sure he'll award him the loyalty, and the competitors again will come and say thank you. That was politics. It was a game. We are here. Let's have common knowledge.
Anyway, we wait for 2027 to scare wananchi wanasema nini. Now, speaking of political parties, of course, the UDA, that is the United Democratic Alliance, holding the party elections in December this year. And of course, this was as announced by the president, William Ruto, who is also the leader. Now, this is done when he was launching his regional office in May, that is over the weekend, of course. Now, according to Ruto, the elections are going to start at the grassroots level, and they are going to run successful. And after that, of course, UDA will be the first to conduct internal elections since the implementation of the Political Parties Act of 2011. Now, if we look at the history of political parties, an example in 2014, when ODM tried to do or to have its internal party elections, it was so chaotic, man. If you remember about the story of the men in black who were supposed to be guarding the whole procedure, and punde si punde au muda si muda. Now they're the ones who were kicking tables and throwing ballot papers left, right, and center. So it wasn't a peaceful affair, which led to the elections actually not happening. Also, we saw in 2016, the Jubilee Party tried to have its internal elections. Of course, it did happen, but at a lower level. And Mr. Ruto, or the president, has actually said that this time the elections are going to be fair and credible. That is the party elections. Now, I may urge even the party members to start getting or familiarizing themselves na wenzao katika party, because number one, alisema hakuna kupatia mtu anything on a silver platter. Why? Because you have to be voted in order to get that particular position that you want to get. Sorry. And of course, he assured the leaders again that the elections are going to be free and fair as well as transparent, and that the members of the party are the ones who are going to decide who will hold party positions. Now, of course, this is a really big thing. It's a really big step. It will be a big step considering the fact that the party is just still new in the building. Na of course, tumeiona it's come na imekuja na niseme fujo au na moto. And before we even get into what the party politics or the history of party politics in Kenya, let's just listen to what Mheshimiwa Rais had to say.
I want to tell you that under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances, it is the sole responsibility of opposition to keep checks and balances on the government. That which the government is not doing right, it is the work of the opposition to provide and offer solutions, to talk about it, so that it is in the public domain. And
all members of UDA, wherever you are, there will be elections in December. We are going to announce the timetable for the elections in December so that we can build the party as an institution of governance. And we want to make sure that the leadership of the party is determined by the membership of the party. Everybody who wants to be an official in this party must go back to the polling station and begin the journey from there. Socialize yourself with the members of the party. Those who will vote, they will vote for every office that is available in our constitution. And we are going to make sure that we build a national party that is going to unite the country, unite communities, unite interests from every corner so that we can eliminate the politics of ethnicity in Kenya and change it to the politics of parties around issues, around interests of the people of Kenya that will drive the country into prosperity into the future. Tunaelewana jameni? Mnakubali twende hiyo barabara? Mnakubali twende hiyo barabara? Hebu ni wale wanasema tunakubaliana tunaenda hiyo barabara pamoja. Uchaguzi ni Disemba na tunaanza pale kwa polling station. Kwa sababu tunataka kuhakikisha ya kwamba chama ni institution ya governance. Na ili iwe institution ya governance, lazima tuipange vizuri na wenye chama waamue ni nani wataongoza chama yao. Na ndio sababu mimi nataka niwaambie viongozi wote, kama wewe unataka kuwa kiongozi katika chama ya UDA, anza pale kwa polling station ujipange na wanachama. Hakuna mtu atapatiwa kiti kwa meza. Hakuna mtu atapatiwa kiti kwa mapendeleo. Wanachama ndio wataamua pale kwa polling station. Tumekubaliana? Nyinyi mtashindwa kuamua nani atakuwa chairman wa chama pale kwa polling station? Si mko tayari? Mko tayari? Kwa sababu tunataka kuondoa ukabila kabisa katika siasa ya Kenya kwa kupanga chama ya kitaifa ambayo itaunganisha Wakenya kutoka jamii zote kama wanachama wa chama kimoja, chama ambayo itaunganisha Wakenya na itaendesha serikali kulingana na manifesto ambayo nyinyi kama wanachama na wananchi wa Kenya mulipigia serikali kura.
That was the president, that is William Ruto, talking about or announcing that there will be UDA party elections that is in December. And of course, akasema the main aim of conducting the elections is that the party actually seeks to eliminate tribalism or ethnic clashes as well, and instead build a national party which will lead the country hand in hand with the manifesto that UDA had in mind or put out to the people. Bwana Emmanuel,
yes.
Tunakukaribisha kwenye meza. What's your take on what is happening in the UDA elections, comparing it as well to previous elections? Do you see it being a success? And because normally, or from history, we've seen that even with internal elections, there is a lot of violence that goes in there. There is a lot of discomfort, I could say. Now, most likely, the elections do not even become successful. So this one, are you seeing it as a success? And is the end game or what UDA is trying to achieve something achievable?
You said compared to the former election. Which election?
Elections from other parties, like the one we saw for ODM, which the men in black decided they're going to ruin it. We also saw the Jubilee elections in 2016, which is also full of internal violence. People were fighting.
There's nothing so risky like conducting party elections. That's why in most cases, parties prefer having even nominations or not conducting elections at it should be, by the constitution. When they reach to a point that they don't want to conduct elections, they bring excuses, which will allow them not to conduct elections. So coming to the point of UDA at the moment, what the president wants to achieve is to stabilize a United Democratic Alliance. And for you to stabilize a political party, which in less than 2 years has produced a president, which less than a year is the most popular again, competing with giants, ODM, needs more than wisdom. So this one, we call upon you to coordinate from grassroots leaders to youth leadership, youth wings, to national leadership of the party. It's not an easy task. Something very, very difficult. And of course, for one to be maybe going to contest, you should have seen how your activeness in the party has been, which events have you participated, which is your track record, how serious are you. So these are parties that are called for serious individuals, and even far more better professionals. Professionals will get an added advantage to become leaders in UDA. As the president now, what he wants is someone to deliver, not someone to keep. You know, the president now, much of his work is to command. And what he says, he do. He's not here to keep you. That if you don't want to be new here,
No.
And the most popular elections which are going to come in December will give a clear picture of UDA as a party, how it's going to move on. You know, in every election, there are people who will always know. Just wait. They'll just come out. And that's what the president will want to avoid. In most cases, there are places I'm sure we went to find unopposed. Before you go to that election, you'll be scrutinized to a point that those who are going to remain are the real champions, only champions, who are going to deliver for UDA. And, you know, we are living in a modern science politics where anything can come up. So every aspect, I know the president is very much aware and is going to work out. From where I sit, I am going to see it very, very successful, very much organized, because at the moment the president, William Ruto, was forming UDA, he was in opposition. His accounts were frozen. He was in a campaign mode, facing opposition from all kinds. You form a party that makes you a president, gives you majority, and most popular less than 2 years. Now that he has time, from now up to December, William Ruto, huwezi mshinda. Hiyo ananyorosha UDA. You know, do you know who is William Ruto in strategy? Kupanga strategy, leadership strategies. That man, even ODM understands it. So ulisikia Kalonzo akisema.
Na bado wako kwa chama. Anyway, so the violence bit, what I wanted to understand is now your personal opinion. Is UDA going to make history with the elections that are supposed to be conducted in December? Your personal opinion.
Yeah, it's going to make an history. One, the elections will be fair.
Okay.
Two, at least UDA will conduct elections. When last did UDA have elections?
Never heard of elections.
When last did UDM conduct party elections?
2014, if I'm not wrong, when things went south.
Three, even those who also went to lose will accept and stay remaining.
All the other parties. People are shifting from Azimio wanakuja huku. Why not the opposite?
Let me tell you. Political parties have money. Political parties have resources. And to a big advantage, when you have the majority, it's through these members who demand it's through these ones that the party is able to even the president himself, monthly subscription, go back to UDA. So here you call for accountability. And now if you have it last for even 10 years, they are a champion. So history will happen for UDA in December elections, that at least they'll have an election, and we should be fair. I know it will be very fair. You know why is it going to be fair?
No, tell me why.
The reason I'm telling you that it's going to be fair is that you don't have an option to leave from UDA. So long as you are served and your demands, anything that you want, is being sorted out in UDA, you must remain there. Unless if you are greed. If there's greed in you that you must be in that leadership position for you to feel that you are in UDA, then you'll be given an exit.
Okay, wacha tungoje tuone.
We have people who want to come to UDA. We have Jalango who wants to be in UDA.
Jalango does not want to be in UDA. Jalango is content where he is. Hata wale members wote wenye wali, you know, the president had earlier hosted the AKA rebel MPs at State House, but I don't think any of them wants to kuvuka mpaka to join UDA. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in December with the elections. But to our viewers, we're asking you, do you think, according to you, is UDA going to make history by holding the first most successful party elections in Kenya come December 2023? Please feel free to tell us on the comment section below. Now, speaking of UDA, speaking of governance, speaking of people going to vote now, in 2022, people went, cast their votes, wakapiga kura. The election of force results came out, and a winner was announced. Japo kuna mpaka saizi, those who say the elections had ish, they were not fair, but we still had a leader who was announced na akapatiwa cheo ya leading the country. Now, when we come to the Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Wino, who also won the seat kwa sababu alienda kwenye debe akapigiwa kura, express his disappointment, number one, on Ruto's government, stating that Ruto is on the verge of failure, and that yes, as well as the role of the opposition on the protests that happened or that have been happening this year. And this is during an interview, of course, with one of the journalists in Kenya, that is Stephen Leto. He also talked about other sectors such as health and education, as well as arresting of leaders and allowing the opposition to do its work. Now, of course, we know what's roaming in the streets right now. The talk in the streets is Ruto's 1 year in governance. Now, that is not what we're going to talk about, but we're going to touch on it a little bit. But before that, let's just listen to Babu Wino.
I want to tell you that under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances, it is the sole responsibility of opposition to keep checks and balances on the government. that which the government is not doing right, it is the work of the opposition to provide and offer solution, to talk about it so that it is in the public domain. And the only mistake the opposition did was to fight for the cost of living. And we know the cost of living is that amount of money that an average Kenyan just needs to buy basic needs, to pay for rent, to buy food, to buy clothing, to afford education, and to afford health care. And that is too high. So as opposition, if dialogue fails, and the way it has failed, then the most appropriate avenue to follow always is the streets, which is enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya. It is an inherent right of every Kenyan to picket peaceably as entrenched in our Constitution. Yes.
And let's talk about the street protest. They were very violent. How do you describe it?
I can't say that the protests were violent. Why? Because every Kenyan, and you were present during this protest, you could see the way we could start in a very peaceful way when they were taking an oath, was to protect life and to protect property. This government seems more interested in protection of property more than protection of life. Those property shall be enjoyed by the lives, not enjoyed by any other thing, but they are being protected for the lives. Therefore, protection of life is the fundamental right of the government instead of taking life. Look at, for example, the expressway, where the flower pots were more important than the lives that were being lost. You cannot kill citizens that you're supposed to take care of in the name of protecting a flower pot. You cannot say that the Chinese government came to find out why the expressway, the flower pots were destroyed, while you as the president, you are not going even for one funeral of the Kenyan citizens that were killed by the police officers that are serving under you, that were taking orders from your government. Stephen, this was very unfortunate because these are the dark days that we are back in. I went to Mombasa for a meeting, a parliamentary meeting together with Nairobi members of parliament. Coming back at around 9 p.m., I was approached by 8 guys, the DCI officers from the DCI headquarters. What were they saying? That I'm being required to go and record a statement. I asked them over what? They told me I will know mbele. Then, with the 8 people I could not manage, I was just alone. Decided to get into one of their vehicles, a Subaru, which was driven from the airport to town, from town to TRM. That is where they changed the number plate. When we reached there, they were changing the number plate there. So they handcuffed me from the airport. After that, put me in the Subaru, and then they drove towards Thika Road. And then after that, at some particular point, they went towards Kamiti. They were going around. So we reached Mwea in Kirinyaga at around 2 a.m. And I didn't know where I was because clearly it was in the dark until I was informed that I was at Mwea the previous day when I was in the police cell. I didn't know where I was. So having been bungled in the car, driven to Mwea in a police cell, in handcuffs, actually along the way from TRM, they blindfolded me. When I saw that, when I asked them, where are we going towards Kamiti? So they blindfolded me because for sure I knew that these people probably wanted to kill me. So I told them there is no need of going far. Why don't you just finish me now? There is no need of going far because you have everything you want to finish me. So there is no need of driving me around. Just finish me now. After that particular moment, they decided to blindfold me. Drove me all the way to where we were going. And the following day, that's when I knew that I was at Mwea, when I asked one of the police officers at the station who came in the morning in my police cell. Incommunicado, they didn't want me to communicate with my family, with my advocates. They didn't even bring me food. And it was very, very shameful because why do you need to punish me just for fighting for Kenyans? Is it only me? Will you punish all the Kenyans who are fighting for other Kenyans? Will you punish all the leaders who are fighting for all other Kenyans? So later for 3 good days I went without food, I went without water. I was only praying and I was asking myself, what am I doing in a police cell from a presidential campaign to a police cell? What was I doing there alone? And I could not communicate to anybody, just sleeping on the floor. And the floor was also very cold, and the previous day I was not feeling well. So it was clear that we are back in the dark days. What was ringing in my mind is that Kenya has had presidents. They've come and they've gone. We had Kenyatta, he came and he went. We had Moi, he came and he went. We had Kibaki, he came and he went. All those three presidents died. We had Uhuru, came and went. And we have Ruto, he will come and he will go. So I don't see the need of him being reminded to lower the cost of living is a problem that somebody should be punished. That energy that they are using, all that energy they are using, and the resources, the public money they are using to arrest us, the fuel they are wasting, the movements they are making, all that resources, why can't they divert all that resources to Lamu, where people are being killed, to other areas where there are cattle rustlers? Why can't they divert all those energies there? Government should let opposition do its work. We were not going after anybody. We are just fighting for the cost of living to be lowered, of which if they just lowered the cost of living, there would be not protest. And they were using too much force on us. Why would you arrest a member of parliament at night, take him to an unknown destination, while you can summon this member of parliament because you know he's not a flight risk? I would not leave the country. I have a constitutional mandate to perform, a constitutional role to perform on my people, the people of Embakasi East constituency. Why wouldn't they just call me, summon me, if they needed anything from me to put to make things clear, to clarify on any other matter? So the idea of arresting leaders will not help, because leaders have been arrested before, but people fought. Along the way, some people die, but those who are alive will still fight. Along the way, some people cow, but those who are remaining will still fight. So it doesn't matter the strategies they use, the intimidation tactics they use, it doesn't matter. I remember in 2007, Ruto himself was in the same situation we are in now. He was in opposition. He was fighting for the rights of the downtrodden. He was demonstrating because it is something that he believed that was a right for the Kenyan citizens. What is he doing now? He's using the same tactics that the former governments were using that failed. So he's literally planning to fail. Nothing has been addressed. Actually, 1 year in office, what we can celebrate is the many travels that this government has made abroad, but nothing else. The other day I was seeing you were airing Ruto's government in 1 year. 1 year in office. But I'm so saddened because look at the health sector. The health sector itself is sick. Health is sick. Why is health sick? Increment of payment of NHIF is burdening the common mwananchi. Why would you increase NHIF on them? Why would you divide NHIF into 3? That is the Social Health Insurance Fund, and you say that after dividing that into 3, then the Social Health Insurance Fund shall be managed by a private sector. So you literally saying as a president that public fund should be managed by private individuals. That is completely out. The primary health sector, number 2. And the third one is the emergency and the chronic funds. With these 3, you are literally increasing the administrative cost. When you increase the administrative cost, what are you doing to the government? You are overburdening the common mwananchi, because that is a recurrent expenditure, cannot lead to growth of an economy. Number 2, in the education sector.
Now, of course, those are Babu Owino's sentiments on number 1, explaining his arrest from the airport. Number 2, akiingililia Mheshimiwa Ruto ama akichambua Mheshimiwa Ruto and the kind of achievements that he has done or he has made so far. And according to Babu, amesema that Ruto is bound to fail venye anaendelea. So, Emmanuel, as we wind up, wasemaje kuhusu number 1, Ruto in 1 year, a summary, as well as Babu's concern on the health sector, as well as education and agriculture sector, as per what has been achieved so far by the Kenya Kwanza government?
In 1 year, the president and Kenya Kwanza as a team, they have done some things well. They have failed some things again, which they need more time to put them in order. At the moment, I can just give them a 53% of what they promised during campaigns, and up to now. The second question was about health.
Yes, the sectors health, education, as well as agriculture.
Let me start from health sector. Health sector is a devolved sector to counties. So it's through different counties that we get the problem. So the different health challenge in Kilifi County is not the same health challenge in Busia. Diseases are the same, but at times they can differ, and opportunities will differ in the health sector. But devolution problems start from national government, or vice versa. Times devolution problems can be the county, whereby you're blaming the national government. You find that national government has disbursed funds to the county, and at the county level, mismanagement and corruption brings to problems again. So to the health sector, I will just narrow them to counties, that other counties have done well in the health sector, when other counties are lagging behind in health sectors. Other counties actually are bringing that we have health sector being returned back again to national government, something that the national government, I'm very sure it will not want to accommodate. Talking about agriculture sector, agriculture is also involved, whereby same problems happen at different levels. Here the government has brought subsidies, which actually one of the achievement the Kenya Kwanza government can be given is that hapa kwa agriculture sector imepeana wakulima mbolea, na kwa wale ambao hawajapata wanaweza ipata at affordable price.
Naweza kuingilia kidogo hapo.
Waingilia ni
kwa sababu when you look at Kenya, for example, because I was having this conversation earlier with someone, and akaniuliza a question. How many regions in Kenya actually need this fertilizer? You know,
when we talk about agriculture, we have different forms of agriculture. We have farming, we have poultry farming, we have dairy keeping, we have beekeeping. So we have many different types of farming.
And so how does the fertilizer bit come in to assist people who are, for example, like in Masai Land, people who are, for example, like in Wajir? Because we know when we talk about fertilizer being subsidized, unajua kuna hizo the western region, of course, wanajulikana vizuri. Parts of KISII also wanajulikana vizuri when it comes to farming. Some areas in central are also popular when it comes to farming. Now, it is not the whole of Kenya that is benefiting from the so-called fertilizer subsidy. So yes, it is there. It is an achievement that fertilizer has been subsidized. You know, a bag was going for almost like 5,000. Mikashusho to 3,500, if I'm not wrong, then to 2,500.
It was from 7,000 to 3,000. That's a very big margin that everyone you can't deny.
But what's the impact? Because I'm like, yes, you've given people fertilizer, but is it useful? Have you gone to the farmers themselves and seen this fertilizer is working?
Tamara, you're asking me a question that I want to answer you using a question.
Okay.
When fertilizer that was not affecting all Kenyans was at 7,000 shillings, it was not a Kenyan issue. It was not affecting people from Masai Mara when it was at 7,000. Now, when the president has worked it out to 2,500, now it comes a question that people from Turkana are all benefiting from this.
Exactly.
It's
a concern.
Very, very. This is what I want to say. Farming, as I was putting it out, people from plain regions, Masai and Samburu and whatever, they don't need an empowerment for fertilizer. What they want is an empowerment from meat production. So the government is working out on how the meat production from these areas is going to be more commercialized so that they get profits from what they do day to day. So basing ourselves to fertilizers, we were basing to our places where there is reliable rainfall, where there are fertile lands. Parts of Western Kenya, we are known for production of maize. When you go to parts of Narok, it's known for production of potatoes, sweet and even wheat. So we don't want to say that fertilizer to benefit every Kenyan. It cannot. It cannot, logically, it cannot happen. The same way we want to tell me that when fertilizer was 7,000, was it affecting every Kenyan?
Of course, somehow, yes. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones who are consuming the final product, you know.
Very good. Now, it was not affecting Kenyans on a negative side.
Yes.
That someone buying a bag at 7,000 goes for production business to bring out maize, for example, even the specialization. He or she cannot sell maize at the same price with fertilizers of a cheap price. Now, this is the reason behind this. We know that in Kenya, the staple food for Kenyans is maize.
Maize, yes.
The government has given fertilizers on a subsidy up to 2,400. In 1 year, we have harvested. Harvest has increased. The consumption, those who want to consume it, they want to buy it at a cheap price. Cheap or affordable price. You know, let me tell you, there's a difference between cheap and affordable.
And affordable, yes, most definitely, yeah.
Even today, William Ruto, by all means, I kunga 50 bob, 1 kg, 2 kgs,